Let's go. Turn up the volume. From the basement of the Empire State, this is the Basement Surge with John and Frank.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Basement Surge. Frank, how you doing?
What's up, baby? How we feeling?
Oh, man.
How we doing? You're looking good. You're looking real good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, everybody. So welcome back to a fresh episode of the Basement Surge. This week, Frank and I are talking all about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh,
Yep,
man.
the same thing that other people are doing, but they're not doing it as good as us.
Right. Yeah.
I half expected you to be wearing a Superman hat. You disappointed me.
You know what? I should have, but that's all right. It's hanging up in the background, I think. Yeah, it's there.
It's there. I see it.
Oh, man. But all right, everybody. So before we get into this, just remember, you can head on over to YouTube and you could be watching this episode. So if you're listening to the podcast, stop and head on over to YouTube and give it a watch and hit that subscribe button. And Frank?
Ring that motherfucking bell.
That's right. Oh, man. So, all right. So Zack Snyder's Justice League just dropped this previous Thursday, I believe. And
Yeah, the 18th.
I literally spent the whole 4 hours in the basement, in the studio, by myself watching this movie, Frank. And
You were by yourself?
I was by myself.
Wow.
Yes.
You didn't want no distractions.
I wanted nothing. No distractions, no nothing. I literally, like, when I tell you I was by myself, I literally had every light down here off. And I had it on the big screen TV in front of me. And I put it on my headphones and I cranked up the volume like I was in a fucking theater. And I was in the zone.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. It's like all you heard was like the door open. Daddy, clack, back the fuck up. I'm watching something.
Right. No, Heather knew how important this thing was to me. So, because
join you? Wow.
yeah, well, see, the plan was to wait until all the kids went to bed that night, and
You couldn't do it.
And
You couldn't do it.
and she would watch it with me, So, but like during the day, she tells me, she's like, well, how about you just watch it by yourself down in the basement, this way you can concentrate. And I was like, okay, I don't have to wait, because I was going crazy all day, all morning, just thinking about
Tell her to remember that was her idea.
yeah. No, trust me, it was her idea. It's fine. It's 4 hours to myself I got, and let me tell you, bro, it was fucking amazing.
Dude, I was on the train. I called up Mr. Phil's. I ordered a large pepperoni, well done. Got off the train at the 71st Street side, walked, grabbed the pizza, sped walk all the way home. Got home, dropped all my shit, got into my pajamas. I grabbed 2 slices. I sat on the couch. Me and Jamie watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
And she didn't fall asleep. I was very proud of her.
Oh, that's great.
She was actually very into it. She said that she was more into this version than the original.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know if Heather had seen the original. I think she did. But she wasn't that interested in it now to actually sit down and concentrate and watch it. She's got other things going on too. So
yeah. Now I have to say to all of our fans, all my fellow surgers, okay, there are spoilers.
Yes.
We're going to talk. We're going to talk about things. We're going to let things be known.
Yes. Well, there is a warning. There was a warning before this episode played. So
I'm just reiterating.
Yeah.
I'm reiterating. I'm letting them know because you know me.
Spoiler alert. You're right. Yeah.
Now, the first thing I have to say is, Joss, stay at Marvel.
Right. Yeah.
Now, after that, I'm gonna speak about Joss Whedon's version. Just a few things, right? I liked a few of the character interactions that Joss did.
Yeah, did you?
Like case in point, when Superman and Cyborg are separating the mother boxes and they're talking about the blowback.
Yeah.
And he's like, should we expect any blowback? He goes, a little bit. How big? Not so much. He goes, because I really enjoy being alive. Like,
Yeah, I remember
those
that.
little
Yeah.
interactions. Those little interactions I like because Joss knows how to make these superpowered beings relatable. Like he made Thor.
I don't know if that's so much relatable as to just adding.
No, but kind of like humanizing them. You know what I mean? Like they're doing these big things, and right in the middle of these big things. Come on, John. You think if me and you were superheroes and we were doing some shit like that, we wouldn't be like, hold your dick.
Right. No, I know. But I kind of like the fact that that Zach's version of it didn't have as much comedy, like one-liners.
Yeah,
of thing,
it's little comedy things. Like, yeah, when Aquaman is sitting on the lasso when he starts expressing all of his feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
That's right.
That
I
was a
forgot
nice
about
little
that scene. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a nice little moment of levity right before the big battle. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And the one when he first sees Bruce dressed up, he goes, "You do dress up like a bat." I dig it. It's like little quips.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think what really did it was like the way Joss used Downey as Iron Man, as Tony Stark, he nailed it. Like he let him run with it and let him do his thing, and that was great.
He was great with
you know,
Avengers, yeah.
But like the scene when Batman is chasing down the parademon and kills it, and and traps with the net and kills it against the building. Yeah. That's not in Zach's. That was all Whedon.
Right.
There's like all these other things that weren't in there. You're like, oh, where's some of these scenes? They're not there.
Right.
And to tell you the truth, the Superman rebirth sequence, Zach's 100% better.
Oh my God.
Like 1,000% better.
Oh my God.
We did not need the little interaction between him and Superman and do you bleed and all that stuff. Like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Uh-huh. And the Pet Cemetery.
I have a wife. She bleeds once a month. All right.
The Pet Cemetery comment was gone too. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they Flash and Aquaman didn't talk about Pet Cemetery.
Yeah. But I also liked when Cyborg, right? When I start talking about Zach's version, I have to say that my man Cyborg and Barry got their respect.
Yeah.
They got their dues. Like Cyborg and Whedon's version gets a lot of like flack because like, oh, what Zach shows you.
Exactly
what he can do and who he is.
I think what had happened was that Joss like trimmed it down and was just trying to get the movie done. And he was just trying to get it behind him. So, but at the same time, it's kind of like this 4-hour epic that we've seen. Not only did it concentrate on Cyborg and Flash, but I feel he gave pretty equal storyline background to each of the characters. I mean, we didn't need so much on Bruce, because we know about Bruce.
I like the fact that Batman and Superman were not shown off so much. Wonder Woman moderately. Aquaman moderately because they had their own solo films.
Right.
I like the fact that they went deeper into Cyborg and Barry.
Yeah.
Because people forget, like most people don't know, like Cyborg was on the Teen Titans originally.
Yeah. Right.
And then in the New 52, he was part of Justice League, but he's still the youngest member of the Justice League.
Yeah.
He's only like 20. He's only like 20 years old.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, like establishing storylines wise, it's like, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman already had their movies. They already, everybody knows their origins by now.
It's the holy trinity of DC, bro.
Right. So, so he really had to expand on Barry and Cyborg, so I think he did a great job. I think the movie was freaking perfect.
I loved when Victor went into his inner space, he sees himself, how he sees himself.
Yeah.
In his jacket and all dressed up at night and everything.
Yeah, when he's whole again. Yeah. When he's a real boy.
But when his dad's talking to him and you see him looking at all the nukes and going at the bank and that one little scene, I don't care what anyone says, that little scene of him looking at everything and seeing that one woman working for tips, her son's in a wheelchair, doing all the right things, trying so hard, and he did this little thing for her because he could.
Yeah.
It was just like I sat there and there was plenty of moments when this movie brought tears to my eyes because anybody knows, like me and my friend will both tell you, anybody knows you being a parent and trying that hard for your children, you understand that struggle.
Yeah, well, that scene didn't so much as bring a tear to my eye, but a couple,
Well, it made I gotta say it made me feel a certain way.
a couple other scenes did though. I have to be honest. You know, like the scene where Clark comes back and they're on the farm with Lois and Ma. You know, that scene, the scene where he puts the black suit on for the first time and he's
And you hear Jarrell and Jonathan talking to him.
Yep.
Magnificent. I gotta say though, it's been a long time since I watched Man of Steel, so hearing Russell Crowe's voice, it reminded me of like how short his part was.
Yeah.
But I think Marlon Brando would have been proud.
Yeah. I mean, I think
because he put on a nice Jarrell.
I think that's a couple, like that's one thing that gets lost through the Superman movies. I think, especially the new ones, is that he had a deep connection with his father. You know, especially since he can communicate with him kinda through the fortress. You know, and you know, just his whole upbringing in Smallville. You know, and just the way he grew up, and his parents, really, both of his parents were really special to him.
Like, you know me, bro. I love Batman because I love the aesthetic and the character of Batman.
Yeah, but he has no parents.
Superman, yeah, he has Alfred. Yeah, he has Alfred.
Right.
But as a person, like I said, Clark gives you that hope.
Yeah.
Like you see him, you just see him, and that scene with the mother box with just a hologram and him flying up and stuff. I was like, just the very thought of him gives you hope.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like somebody who is godlike. And there he is, right behind me. Somebody who is literally godlike.
Yeah.
But yet so human.
Well,
so
they always do that to him. They always make him Christ-like, you know, because no matter what Superman movie you watch, he is always in the crucifix position at some point. Okay, like in this Justice League movie, you see him when he first puts the black suit on, and he takes off flying up into the space, and he soaks up the sun. He's standing in the atmosphere. He's in the crucified position, you know. So he's just soaking up the energy, and they always do that to him. They always make him godlike, Christ-like, you know. And that's always what they've always done to him since the beginning.
Now, let me go right into the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
My favorite scene of part 1 is this motherfucker Steppenwolf, right? He shows up, and they changed the whole Amazon scene. That whole thing was changed up.
They changed the whole scene. They changed the way Steppenwolf looked. They changed everything.
He looked great.
Awesome.
He looked so good. And I love the fact, even though his voice was different now and modified, you could still hear Syrian Hines, the actor. You know what I mean? You could still hear his tone and the way he uses his words.
Yeah.
You could still tell it was him.
Right.
But I love that part when he said something about their fear, right? And yeah. I was telling Jamie, like you remember in the first movie, the parademons, they sense fear and then they eat people. Fuck you, Josh. Okay.
Right. I've seen that. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Anyway, I was like, babe, he's coming to the wrong place. And she's like, why? I was like, because they're Amazons. They don't have fear.
No.
And then I shit you not, not even 2 minutes later, Queen Hippolyta's like, Amazons, show them your fear. It's like, we have no fear. I was like, yeah. I was like, fuck, I was pumped.
Right.
I was fucking pumped. I spit on my computer. I was pumped, bro. You want to know what? I tell people all the time, you want to know why? Because those fucking Amazons don't give a fuck.
They're crazy.
They went at him.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Did you see them?
Yeah.
They were all over him. They were just wailing on him.
That scene, like, it opened this movie up. Excuse me. This movie opened up strong, you know, and it was like, it was so cool because, like, it literally was a continuation from Beavis. You know, Batman vs Superman.
I speak your language.
Yeah. So, because it started off with Superman dying and his screams basically waking up the boxes. You know
why? But do you know why?
Why?
Because the mother boxes are sentient machines.
Right.
Bioorganic machines. They heard the Kryptonian die.
Right.
And they knew it was safe to wake up.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he was like, waking up. Why? Because he's still here.
Yeah. Well, like Steppenwolf said, this world has no Kryptonian, no lanterns, you know? So
Yeah.
it was those two races, I guess, you know, that the Mother Box and Darkseid were really worried about when conquering a planet. So
Well, you saw what Darkseid did to that Green Lantern.
yeah, I know, but did you see what the old gods did to Darkseid? I mean,
Oh,
bro.
that's because they're the old gods, bro. They're
Bro.
Zeus and Ares. All right, but I'm gonna let my co-host know and all of you know. And it's not just because they're old gods. Yes, Zeus and Ares very powerful in the DC continuity, very powerful. But take one look at that ancient battle scene. Look at Darkseid. Look at him very closely. His eyes don't glow red.
Right.
That means when he came to this planet originally, he was still mortal. He did not have the Omega effect in him yet.
Right. So he wasn't
So
full Darkseid.
He wasn't full Darkseid yet, and he put up, and he, no, he was still, what's his name?
I think he had a different name or something.
Euaxis or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't get the Omega effect yet.
Yeah.
That's why his eyes weren't glowing red, and he still served. Look what he did when he landed. He still served a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
He still fought Zeus and them and took a shot from them while still like that 5,000 years ago.
He did, but he had freaking problems, man. Like, I don't know.
Bro, he got fucked. Ares fucking hacked him. Did you see that when they hacked him
right in the shoulder? I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. He fell down and he was like, help me, Jesus. Help me. Oh Lord. Oh, I see it coming. Oh, it reminded me of Sanford and Son. Oh, Lamont, this is the big one, Elizabeth. This is the big one. I'm going to get it now. And the parademons are dragging him out, and they drag him into the ship. He's like, I can still fight.
Let me go.
I can still fight. And you know, you gotta admit though, that ancient battle scene, the way Zach expanded on it,
awesome,
and showed you everything was just like you had Atlanteans, Amazons,
so
men, old gods, and lanterns, bro. You had 5 people on this little planet saying, "Get the fuck out."
I think that it's pretty safe to say that if you know nothing about the DC universe, okay, and you watch this would be comic book and historic accurate. Okay, to what happens in the books. Not only what happens in the books, but how these characters actually look. Because if you did a side-by-side image of Darkseid from the movie and from the book, he looks the same.
Pretty close. It's not quite this. But
it's not quite exact, but it is the closest you will ever get to a movie translation.
It's the best live action representation of
it. Yeah, and
I think the guy who did the motion capture and did his voice was a Roy Porter or something.
I think so. Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked his voice. And now don't get me wrong. If his mouth would have opened up and I would have heard Michael Ironside, I think I would have just right there would have been done.
Right.
But
Michael Ironside's from the animated series. Yep.
Yeah, because he just had, bro. Every time you heard his voice come up, you were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
you kind of fucked up now, Cluck. You kind of fucked up now. But I loved when he killed the Green Lantern and the ring flew up. He looked at it and he was looking at it and he was like,
he tried to grab
shiny.
it. Yeah.
He's like, ooh, shiny.
Yeah, he tried to grab it. Like maybe he
another
could put
thing,
it on.
right? Someone at work asked me, what was with the Green Lantern? It's 5,000 years ago.
Right.
All right. What does that mean? Okay. 5,000 years ago, the Green Lanterns were probably just being established. If anyone knows the Green Lantern history, Avra was the first Green Lantern to create a construct with his ring.
Mm-hmm.
Most Green Lanterns just used it for blasting or traveling through space.
Yeah.
They didn't really do constructs. That's why Zach was being accurate with that specific Green Lantern of our Earth sector, brand new, with just the blast, because they didn't know how to do constructs.
Yeah. Like, that's how accurate Zach got this movie. Like, who does that?
Because it's true.
It's awesome.
That's true. And I gotta admit though, that fucking scene when Cyborg's sitting there with the boxes, And Steppenwolf comes and drops his axe right on Clark's shoulder, and he's like,
Oh,
I'm not
man.
impressed. Like right then and there, it was just like in Whedon's version, is this person bothering you, ma'am? You know, like, okay, yeah,
Right. It
that's
was
Clark.
cheesy. It was kind of
Yeah,
cheesy.
but him hitting his shoulder and Clark going, I'm not impressed. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, this is it. Superman.
And then he used
And
the frost
like,
breath.
he was kind of like, just like,
Yeah, and then he used the frost breath out the side of his mouth, and he broke his huge axe. I was like, "What?" I was like
you saw
screaming.
Steppenwolf's looking at his hands. He's like, and then Clark he kicks him away.
Yeah,
Steppenwolf hits the freaking wall, falls down. You see him hit the floor. I could just hear Steppenwolf going, "Oh man, shit! It's not fair. You're not supposed to be here, man.
Right.
You're not supposed to be here.
it's
You're
not
supposed
fair.
to be dead."
Yeah.
It reminded me of the meme with the lady and the cat, right?
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah,
and the fact that Superman, when he punched him, to tell you the truth, I don't care. I would have loved to see the little guy from Mortal Kombat come out, Humpty, when he fucking hit him. I expected that.
it's
'Cause
almost
he hit him so hard.
It's almost like Steppenwolf didn't even have a chance. All right, like Steppenwolf, once Superman got on scene and he started punching
was
him in the
it.
face, that was it. He was done.
But Zach shows you the difference
Mm.
in power because Wonder Woman is half Amazon, half old god, daughter of Zeus, right? She's a demigod.
Yeah.
Aquaman has increased superhuman strength when outside of water because his body used to the deep ocean pressures.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know this. When the two of them are fighting Steppenwolf, they're not getting manhandled, but they're also not dominating him.
Right.
Because Steppenwolf is a new god, just like Darkseid. He's actually classified, his race is a new god, just like Darkseid.
Right.
So they can go against him. They could fight him and maybe get the better of him, given a type of feint or technique, but they're not going to outpower him.
Yeah.
And then here comes Clark, and he's just like, what?
Right.
And the fact when he had him on the ground, he's just boom, boom. He's
like hitting him, and with every punch, Steppenwolf is like bouncing off the ground.
And you see the shockwaves, and you see the shockwaves. You see Steppenwolf's armor breaking off, and then he heat visions him and burns off his fucking horn.
Oh my god, yeah.
I was like, yo, because he literally sat up. He's like, boom, right? And I was like, I'm just sitting there like this. And I'm like, he's fucking him up.
Right.
Not only did I want the motor.
It was hilarious because like the boom tube opened up behind them. Remember, as Superman's beating on Steppenwolf, and Aquaman and Wonder Woman are looking into the boom tube, and they see Darkseid and everything, and you see Superman still beating the fuck out of Steppenwolf. Okay, and then Superman's like, he just stops and just turns around like real slow, like what's happening? Like, let me take a break.
That's what it though. Yeah, the shit opens up and Superman's just like, the shit opened up and Superman's like, boom.
Yeah. Right. Like, what's happening back there? Like, you stay there. Yeah.
So it's like this motherfucker Steppenwolf was like beaten, charred, gutted by Aquaman,
Right.
and then beheaded by Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And it's like they would say, yo, Darkseid, take this motherfucker. I'm done with his ass. Get him out the fuck out of here.
And then this all happened on the way because Superman punched him, okay, sending him through towards the boom tube.
Yeah, sending him flying. And Wonder Woman ran and fucking beheaded him before he went through the boom tube.
And it was just like, by the time he got on the other side, like his head just rolled on the floor and at Darkseid's
Darkseid
feet.
crushed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Darkseid just crushed it immediately. I loved it because Darkseid don't give a fuck.
It was
just like, it's like, yo, Darkseid, take your bitch back, all right? I'm done with this motherfucker.
Yeah. Come on.
Clark is like,
come on.
Clark is like, I'm done with this motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh,
But
I thought when I had first heard about this movie coming out, and we finally knew who was coming, Darkseid was coming. I honestly thought that they were gonna fight him. I honestly thought that Darkseid
No.
was gonna
You
come
weren't
to
gonna get
Earth.
that. You weren't gonna get that. No.
You know, yeah, you know.
I knew for a fact I wasn't getting that. I was just hoping to see Darkseid fight during the ancient battle.
Yeah.
Because I could tell. Because they showed Darkseid 2 different times in the trailer. One time his eyes are normal, one time they're red. You know me. I pick up on that little shit and I'm like,
Yep.
I see you, Zach, you sneaky bastard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You sneaky little fucking beaver, you.
It was a
And-
great movie. I think it was the best. See, I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this, but I think it was the best superhero team movie. Like, I honestly think that it was better than Avengers. Like Avengers,
you're gonna get some heat for that because
like Avengers is kind of it's fucking Disney, you know, like it's fucking, you know, like high contrast colors, bright colors, you know, and DC Justice League is more set in the real world, you know, it's more
Like-
what would happen if these things actually existed kind of thing, you know,
and well, that's part of it because you know if you think about X-Men does have science behind it where it's like the evolution of men finally evolving another time.
yeah, but X-Men aren't
Sure.
involved in the Avenger movies, you know.
No.
Which, by
But-
the way, I did recently just watch the that recent X-Men one.
Dark Phoenix?
Yeah, with the Phoenix. Yeah.
Ugh. They ruined it again.
Of course.
No, we're not getting into that.
No. I'll edit that out. I just wanted to tell you.
I made my bed too. See, I made my bed.
Oh, good job.
Thank you. Trying to be a better me. But now let me get on to Barry.
Oh man.
Arguably the most powerful person on that team.
You think so?
Arguably.
Why? Just because he could turn time back? Turn back time? Turn time back? Turn back time? Yeah.
If I could turn back time.
Right.
Not just because of that, but because of his all his array of abilities he has.
Yeah.
He's arguably the most powerful person on that team. I still love the fact that Superman rebirth scene of Barry running up and Superman seeing him was Zach's idea
Yeah.
and not Joss's.
Right.
Because the look on Barry's face, I'm sorry, I like Ezra Miller. I think he plays a young Barry Allen to the best of his abilities because Barry is and was a rookie, a fanboy. He was things like that. The fact that he's like this just looks like a person, who almost looks just like me, a little like a hippie,
Yeah.
a little like a hippie. Nice Jewish. He's like nice Jewish boy.
He's got longer
Yeah,
hair. Yeah.
Yeah. I like him.
Yeah.
I like him. I liked his suit. I think his suit is nice. Some people complain his suit looks like armor. It's
Mhm.
not really armor, people. It's just padding because
Well,
when
his
he does
suit does
slow
look
down,
like armor at the end screen, but we'll
With the
talk
future
about
tense.
we'll talk about that later. Yeah.
yeah, that's when it's mechanical.
Yeah.
It looks that way, people, because of the impact he has to absorb
Right.
and the heat and the friction it has to absorb. So it has that padding in it for that impact for him.
Mhm.
Now, him doing that, like, oh my God, the fucking musical score is called To the Speed Force. And he knew what he can do. See, he knew. He's like, Barry, you got to break the rule. You got to do
Yeah.
it, right? This is your one chance. You have to do it. He knows what he can do.
He had to break
He's
the
not
rule.
the Flash
Yep.
yet, but he's not the Flash yet. Doesn't call himself the Flash. Nothing like that.
Mhm.
He knows what his powers are capable of. He just doesn't know what the consequences are yet.
Yeah.
And when he does that and he fucking reverses time in that whole sequence, I was just sitting there like, thank you, Zach.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for showing us that Barry is a fucking hero too.
Yeah.
That Barry is, this is why he is the Flash. This is why he's one of the most beloved characters from the Silver Age.
Well, you see,
know?
I think Zach did a great job telling everybody that each one of the team members had a purpose
Had a
within
purpose.
what was going on. Okay, like Cyborg with pulling apart the mother boxes. Superman
Because
with,
he was made from them. He was
Right.
made from the mother.
yeah, Superman with defeating Steppenwolf. And just Flash with turning back time, because if it wasn't for him, then it would be done. You know, the world would have
Yeah,
been over.
because you saw when he was reversing time,
Yeah.
you saw Superman come back into
Yeah.
that
Cyborg too.
But that explosion even melted Superman.
Yeah.
That's how strong it was. It even killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know this guy could take I mean, look in Batman vs Superman. He took a fucking nuke to the face and he was still alive.
Yeah.
And that shit melted him. Oh wow, that was some powerful shit.
Yeah, well, the mother box is supposed to resurface a planet, you know, so it's kind of it's huge.
Yeah, and he was at the
Right.
at the fucking point.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like that one guy in Japan back in 1944. Like, what is that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, it's like Zach made sure that every character on the team had a purpose. Now, I went into this thinking like, okay, because I remember the marketing leading up to the movie, and the marketing, there were posters all over the place, like at bus stops and on buses and trains and all that were saying "Unite the Seven." Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So Unite the Seven. So you had Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Cyborg, and Martian Manhunter. All right. Now, there's a couple of people missing from this movie. Now, Green Lantern, yes, we got to see one of the first lanterns in the first war, right? And that wasn't the lantern I was looking for. I was looking either for Hal Jordan, you know, or John. So, but we didn't get that, and I was kind of depressed. You know, I was kind of upset, saying like I was really hoping for a lantern, you know, and it just never happened. And
anyone but Guy Gardner.
Yeah, no, nobody wants to see Guy Gardner. Yeah, but we did get Martian Manhunter. Now, I loved
Who's the fucking general.
Who's the
fucking general?
I loved the way he looked. I loved what they did with his face, with his head, with all the decorations and like stuff on his head. I loved his suit, what he did with his suit, because if you remember, Martian Manhunter had the red stripes, the red X on his chest.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't so like in your face in this movie, you know, the red X's, but it was more like a red outline of an X.
Yeah, and what's his name? The actor, was it Harry Lennox?
Yeah.
You know, he has a voice. He has one of those voices.
He's perfect. Perfect for Martian Manhunter.
And this is no offense to the guy from Supergirl, because I want to say right now that the actor who plays Martian Manhunter on Supergirl is also very, very good.
Yeah.
Well cast.
Yeah, he's got a good voice for Manhunter too. But
this
was the first
Harry
time.
Lennox, man. I was like, what?
This was the first time we had gotten a Martian Manhunter in the movie universe, in the cinematic universe. And, you know, it was great to see him on the screen. I just wish he was part of the team. Like, I just wish he was there.
He is now. He went to go see Bruce.
Well, that's fine. He is now, but there isn't going to be another movie. So
you don't know that. You don't know that, bro. You do not know that.
Zach had already said that he has no plans to make another one, but if HBO or Warner Brothers had approached him with, you know, enough money, he would make one. But there are no plans right now. So
there are no plans right now.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is no longer Batman, which I'm sad to see him go. I'm excited to see what Rob does, because given the you slept on Ben Affleck. Remember what happened?
You know, I don't want to see a sparkly freaking Batman. All right, you know, it's just
not sparkling.
Freaking
that we know of.
Freaking Twilight, freaking Batman. Yeah.
But we don't know yet. We don't know yet. To piggyback off what you said, you know, seeing that Martian Manhunter was the general.
Yeah.
And remembering all the times that Lois busted his balls, but he felt the need to go there and speak to her as Martha.
Yeah. Okay.
And make her
I have a question. I'm sorry. I'll wait till you're done. I'm sorry.
You know, but go to her and speak to her as Martha to try and make her feel better. But when he transformed into Martian Manhunter, the way they animated it, you could see the sorrow in his face. Like he could feel her sadness and her pain.
Well, that's what he is. He's telepathic, you know. So
yeah, but the fact that he went there and did that was, you know, that was so human of him. You know what I mean? He felt this connection to Lois. You know what I mean? to try and make her feel better. And I love the way that Zach worked that. I love Zach's colors and his music and his cinematography and the way he does things.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the whole football scene,
Right.
even though it was done in really in mostly in slow motion, was gorgeous.
Yeah. But so okay, so to touch on Martian Manhunter as Martha, now I was thinking like because I knew we were recording this episode today, so I've been thinking about a lot about what I wanted to talk about. And this morning I'm laying in bed, right, and I'm thinking, and
keep going.
and I'm thinking like about Martian Manhunter and Martha and the whole thing, and I'm like, well, what if he's really Martha the whole movie? And if he is, where is the real Martha? Like, where is she?
No, that was Martha that came to see Clark at the farm.
You think so? You don't think that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
You don't think that was
That
Manhunter?
was. No, because he would have been able to tell. He would have knew something was up. Martian Manhunter can cop.
I don't think Clark would have knew.
Oh, believe me, he knows his mama. Okay, listen. Martian Manhunter can copy people really well.
Yeah.
You know, he could take like a topical scan of their brain and get some of their mannerisms and stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a natural way that people just move naturally, instinctively.
Right.
He can't copy that.
Yeah.
You know, no, that was mommy. That was real mommy.
Mm. All right, and another thing, like I don't know if you caught it, but do you remember the scene where Clark and Bruce at the end are talking as everybody's moving the furniture into the Kent farm and fixing up the farm? You know,
Yeah.
after he bought the farm back, you know, and all that.
He bought the bank.
Bought the bank, right?
Yeah.
As they're walking away from the camera towards the house, you know, and the scene is ending, you know, you very faintly hear Bruce say to Clark, "Congratulations, by the way."
Yeah, he says that to him.
Okay. Now, my theory is that had Zach been able to make a second movie, a sequel, Clark and Lois would have had a kid. Because there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where Lois is in bed and she gets up in the middle of the night and she opens the side drawer next to the bed and there's a pregnancy test in the drawer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those two scenes are linked together, and
I just don't know why they always have to give him a kid.
I don't know. Like it kills me. Like why? They're not supposed to. He's not supposed to have kids. Like that is my firm belief. Superman is not supposed to have kids.
I just don't know why. I don't. Nothing against kids. I think they're lovable pains in the end.
Right.
You know, a bunch of non-red paying foodie and freeloaders.
It's just
like I told mine. I'm recording. What's he do? He just fucking waltzes in here.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I do what I want. Yeah,
I do what I want. Yeah. That's why I beat him off camera.
Right.
There's no proof. You know.
I just don't understand why they have to keep giving Clark kids. And
I don't. I really don't.
No.
You know, he's already the most human out of the team without it. So.
See, that's what I mean. Like, you know, like with him even being an alien, I don't think he should even be able to, you know, and add on top of that, the Christ-like figure that they supposedly put on him, you know, he's just not supposed to have kids. You know, it's just supposed to be him. That's his storyline. The last survivor of Krypton, him and Supergirl, you know?
Yeah. Who I would love to see in the cinematic universe.
Yeah, well, you've seen
the pods. I love a kick-ass guy.
You've seen the pods in Superman's ship in this movie, all right? As the League is pulling Clark's casket through the hallways, you see the pods, and you see the open pod like they hinted to in Man of Steel, you know. And it's just you don't get an answer to who is in there except when you read the comic book.
Now, question though, do you think Clark was actually dead?
No, not at all.
See, I don't think he was actually dead.
Not at all. Okay, so the
I think maybe he got. So, I think maybe he got hurt so bad that he was in that death-like state, recovering.
Yeah. Well, see, that's hard because the science of Superman. You know, I have the book. You know, I read the book like a million times. Okay, so what happens is that his cells, the Kryptonian cells, store the sun's energy. okay, like solar batteries. So what happens is that even if he's knocked out or killed, okay, his cells still have the energy that he absorbed from the sun. And those cells will still regenerate his body and heal him and eventually bring him back. Now, that is exactly what Zach should have done in this movie. Okay, because yes, I mean, I can see how the mother boxes brought him back to life, where it's more of a force kind of, all right, I need you to come back today. I need you here. We need your help kind of thing.
Right now.
Yeah.
Do it right now.
So we're going to use the mother boxes and jumpstart everything and get things going.
Yeah.
So,
but I personally think he was healing.
Yes, but if they had waited and left him alone in the ground, he would have resurrected by himself. Okay, because of his Kryptonian cells.
Look at his body. His body wasn't even like deteriorating,
right?
Or like he wasn't decomposing and earthing,
right? So yes, Doomsday's spike went through his heart, basically ripped a hole in his chest, but his Kryptonian cells were repairing his chest, and he would have eventually came back to life.
Yeah, I liked all the added scenes with Aquaman, where they showed William Dafoe's character. I think his name was Falco.
Yeah,
something like that. Like you should, and he looks cool though, the long hair.
Yeah.
I was like, look at you, William Dafoe, with your long hair, looking all nice and shit.
Yeah,
look at you, you motherfucker.
That was a good scene. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Aquaman. You know, I like Jason Momoa, but I don't think that I don't think he's a good cast for Aquaman.
Now, Jamie made this really funny comment, right? She's like, look at all the men. The men are like, they have suits and stuff. They look cool. And she goes, now look at the Amazons and look at Wonder Woman. How come they're dressed that way? Like they are a bit sexualized, right?
Yeah.
And not so soon after she said that about the Amazons, Jason Momoa comes up on the freaking walkway, takes off his shirt in the rain, which is already wet, takes off his shirt, and I go, well, would you look at that?
Right. He can't swim with his shirt on, Frank.
I know. I was like, yeah. She's like, she's like, yeah, I know. It's the same thing. I said, I know. But the difference is you were only turned on for one of them. I was turned on for both.
Don't be silly, Frank. I mean, he can't swim with a shirt on.
I know. That's already soaking wet, stuck to his body.
Yeah. Don't be silly.
Now, I have to admit, though, I do like the new 52 Wonder Woman costume, the one with the pants. I like that better. I think it's more practical.
I think it's cool. Yeah.
I think it's more practical for battle. Now, I love her costume.
I just look at it design-wise. I don't mind it design-wise.
Yeah. But there is a scene, though, when they're in the Gotham tunnels, when they first go to fight Steppenwolf, when Batman jumps out of the Nightcrawler, Wonder Woman jumps out right behind him.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as she jumps out, if you pause it, her whole ass you can see.
I didn't notice.
I did.
Of course you did. Because you're Frank. But now I got to go back and watch it again. So
I know you do. You know, I like the little breakups. Most people didn't like it, but I like the little breakups in the parts where like it ends and they'll say part 2 and give a title, and then they say the title at some point during the part.
Yeah.
You know, I loved having more Alfred because
yes,
I didn't think we got enough Jeremy Irons.
Alfred was the man in this, and I think that if it wasn't for Alfred, Batman would never have survived.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, he made the gauntlets.
Yeah, he made basically all of his tools.
And the gauntlets is what made the situation between Batman and Superman much more like, oh shit! Like he was like,
yeah.
And he shattered one of them. He was trying to block with the other one. And I like the fact that in this version, it wasn't like Batman had Lois Lane in his back pocket.
Right.
All right, Alfred.
Yeah.
All right, Alfred, bring it in. Bring in the backup, Alfred. No, she saw the explosion and came running back, which, thank you, Zach. That was a much better way.
Yeah. It's not like, you know, Alfred was using a secret weapon, you know, so it's just, it was better like this, you know, and I love the added on scenes that Zach had put into that fight scene, where the League was trying to stop Superman from getting to Batman. Remember that? So
Yeah.
and the whole scene with Superman.
He threw
when
the flash. He threw the flash into Aquaman, and Aquaman's like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
And like when right after Flash sees that Superman sees him, right as they're fighting, during that scene where Superman's hitting all the statues and everything, where he's trying to catch Flash, right?
Yeah.
In the Joss version, you hear the Superman trumpets, the theme song, as he's punching. You hear the original theme song from 1978, and
Really?
yeah, the John Williams score. And in this version, you don't hear it at all. It's a different music altogether. And then what's also added on is when Flash, at that scene, when Flash is on the ground and after Superman knocks him down, Flash looks up and you see Superman about to blast him with its heat vision. That's a new scene too. That didn't happen in the Whedon version. But it was done so much better. Like it
was so much better. So good. I was sitting there and I was explaining it to Jamie that Superman can see him because he has those enhanced senses and reflexes. I said, but Superman's super speed is not the Speed Force.
Mm-mm.
It is the strength of his muscles that propel him at those speeds.
Yeah.
That's why when you see him swinging at Barry, he's almost connecting because he's that fast.
Yeah, that's why Barry's faster than Superman.
And Barry can avoid him because of the Speed Force.
Yeah.
And where Barry fucked up was when he tried to push him. Because if Barry just remember when he pushed that parademon, he just tapped him and the parademon went right through the fucking door.
And Barry tried to push Superman during that fight, and Superman just bounced him right off of him.
He just bounced right off him and he hit the wall. I was just like, yeah, not a good idea. It's like a fucking mosquito trying to fight a rhino. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort. But
it's one thing I gotta give Zach is that he got the powers right in the movie, like
all of them.
Compared to each other with Flash versus Superman and Batman versus Flash and Batman versus Superman, even Cyborg, and Aquaman. It was just he got the powers so right in this movie, and it was just a great movie overall.
Because you know for a fact that Aquaman is strong, but he's not strong as Superman,
right?
And him and Wonder Woman are almost on par to each other. I think Wonder Woman has him by like an edge.
Yeah,
I think Wonder Woman has Aquaman by an edge, but you could see her struggling with Superman. Superman just pulls her.
Yeah.
And then that first headbutt, he was just trying to headbutt her, just like boom, get out of my way.
Right.
And she took it and she headbutt him back, and he was like, he floats up. He's like, oh, okay, kaboom into the fucking grass. And then she goes crashing into the ground. She's like, ah. It was like, yeah. At first, he was telling you move.
Yeah.
You didn't want to move. He's gonna move you.
Right. Exactly.
And that's where you see the difference, the gap in power. And it just like I was just like, wow. I was like, he put her in the fucking ground. like she laid there for a moment and she was like,
All right, so now let's talk about a little bit about the end of the movie, Frank. Let's talk about.
Oh, dude, I thought that was gonna be the end. I thought that was the cliffhanger.
Yeah. Let's talk about Joker. What did you think?
You know that I'm a Jared Leto fan.
I know.
Okay.
I think
Zach gave Leto what he deserved, what he needed.
I think it was a perfect Joker.
Right?
I loved it.
Jared Leto is good, bro. He just needed a script. He needed a script, and he needed a way to present himself.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the police badges as like mementos.
Yeah. Yep.
And the way he talked to him, and he's like, Betsy. He's like, why would you send a boy to do a man's job?
It was really reminiscent of the animated series with Mark Hamill. Like Joker's mannerisms of what he said. It was Jared Leto's voice.
He laughed at him.
Yeah.
And the way he laughed at him about it.
Right.
And I loved it. I loved that fucking Ben Affleck was like, and make no mistake, I will fucking kill you. I was like,
yeah.
but leave it to Joker though to be one of those motherfuckers that survives during the goddamn apocalypse.
Oh, sure. He's like a fucking cockroach. Yeah.
But I always said this, that Leto's performance was great. Just the way he acted, the way he moved.
Yeah.
The tattoos I could have lived without.
Right. But they didn't give it to him in this. They didn't give them to him.
No, he had but you could tell though that he changed his makeup.
Yeah.
You could tell Jared Leto didn't shave his eyebrows this time for this version.
Right.
Because he came in to film these new scenes. In the Suicide Squad, he actually shaved off his eyebrows.
Yeah.
When they applied the makeup, so he looked different.
Yeah.
But he had the longer hair and the way he spoke to him and just the way they interacted. Because Zach said that he felt like we, the fans, were robbed of seeing Batman and Joker on screen together.
Right. So now I think this alternate future, whatever Zach is calling it, is part of the Injustice story arc.
Well, it's not alternate future because I thought that was going to be an alternate future and Barry was going to change it. I thought the Justice League was going to lose.
Yeah.
And Barry was going to have to reset time. But as the movie went on and on, I'm like, aren't they supposed to lose at some point?
Yeah, because
that's the actual future.
You've seen the vision that Cyborg got when they were bringing Superman back.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was
the ship was scared. The ship was scared.
Yeah.
Of the mother box.
Yeah. So, and Cyborg seen glimpses of the future, I think. And it was basically a future like Injustice, the Injustice storyline where Superman is basically the bad guy. Now, it tells me that Superman hasn't quite gone over to the dark side yet because Joker was still alive. In the Injustice story arc, Superman kills Joker.
He killed Joker.
Yeah.
Because Joker set off a nuke in Metropolis that killed Lois.
Right, and she was pregnant at the time. So, which is why makes me think, Lois is pregnant in this movie.
But see, that's what makes me love Zach so much. Look how he pays attention to these details.
Right. Yeah.
That other people, for some reason, that make Fantastic Four movies have perfectly good source material, fuck it up.
Right.
The Dark Phoenix, both times, perfectly good source material. Chris Claremont is like, the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Ruined.
Yeah. So, it's little things like this, that
Zach says, you're going to give me like 90 years worth of source material, I'm going to fucking use it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's little things like this that hardcore fans like us see, because we know all the different story arcs within the books. We know what happens in the books. We know the histories. So when we see little things like a pregnancy test in the drawer next to Lois's bed, Bruce saying congratulations, by the way, at the end of the movie, and then a future world supposedly, that could happen, where Superman is the bad guy, tells us that it's the Injustice story arc, where Superman is the bad guy, which the only way he becomes the bad guy is because Lois dies, because Lois is pregnant, so he loses his shit and he becomes the bad guy and he starts killing people. And he
when Darkseid put his hand on his shoulder and everything, I was like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
See, the last person in this entire world who you want to not give a fuck is Clark.
Right.
Because as soon as he does,
and you don't see who the dead person is that he's holding. You don't see who that is. So that could be Lois for all we know.
That's that fucking skeleton.
Yeah, that could be Lois, but we don't know. That's just one of the things he left open.
You know what? It's partially Lois's fault too, because she's always getting into fucking trouble.
She is. She should just mind her own fucking business. How about that?
Stay the fuck home, Lois.
Yeah.
God damn it.
But I think, Frank, in conclusion, I think that this Justice League movie was freaking amazing. And it is hands down the best DC movie that has ever been put out. And I wish that they would make a sequel. I really do.
I think it might happen, but I think we're not going to get Affleck. We're going to get.
I don't think so either.
We're going to get no.
Yeah.
No, the one thing I am hoping for with this Flash movie is I'm hoping for Flashpoint.
Yes.
Because Wonder Woman did tell Aquaman in that one scene that the Amazons and the Atlanteans did at one time have a war together.
Yeah.
Which is foreshadowing Flashpoint.
Right. Yep. Exactly. See, we know.
We know. We know.
All right, everybody. If you enjoyed our spoiler full episode, head on over to HBO Max and watch the Justice League again, because we just ruined the whole movie
Watch
for
it.
you. So
You don't care. Watch it. We didn't go into everything.
No, we really didn't go into everything. It's a 4-hour movie, and this is only a 1-hour episode, so we can't cover everything. But go watch it.
Nope.
And let us know what you think on social media. On Twitter, hit us up, tag us in the post at Basement Surge. But all right, everybody. If you want to see everything coming out of the basement, listening to previous episodes and watching our previous vodcast, head on over to thebasementsurge.com, where everything is available. Frank, it was a lot of fun. I love this movie. It was a good talk.
Oh man, I had a great time. I'm
All
glad you actually liked Jared Leto this time.
I loved it. But, all right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Let's go. Turn up the volume. From the basement of the Empire State, this is the Basement Surge with John and Frank.